Welcome back to Chrome and Classics, where we take forgotten automotive icons and bring them back to life. Today we're tackling an absolute legend, the 1976 Volkswagen Golf GTI MK1. This is the car that started the hot hatch revolution, a lightweight front-wheel drive pocket rocket that changed the game. But our GTI, it's seen better days. Rust, worn-out interior, faded Mars Red paint, it's got it all. But by the time we're done, this little hatch will be back to its former glory, ready to tear up the roads like it's 1976 all over again. Our Golf GTI arrived at the shop on a flatbed, and at first glance, it was clear that this restoration wouldn't be easy. The Mars Red paint had faded into a dull, almost pinkish hue, with rust creeping around the wheel arches and lower rocker panels. The once iconic black trim was either missing or sun-bleached. Opening the hood revealed the 1.6-liter four-cylinder engine, but it looked rough. Grime, oil leaks, and a cracked airbox were just the start of the problems. The interior, a complete mess. Torn plaid seats, cracked dashboard, and a sagging headliner. But under all that neglect, the spirit of the GTI was still alive. The first step in any restoration is stripping the car down to its bare essentials. We carefully removed the bumpers, fenders, doors, and hood, cataloging every nut and bolt. Underneath, we found what we feared. Rust had eaten through parts of the floor pan and rear wheel wells. The engine came out next, followed by the suspension and drivetrain. By the end of the day, our GTI was nothing more than a rolling shell, waiting for its transformation. With the car stripped, it was time to tackle the biggest issue: rust repair. We cut out the rotten metal from the floor pan and wheel wells, welding in fresh steel to ensure a solid foundation. The rocker panels needed attention too, so we fabricated new sections and blended them seamlessly into the body. After hours of grinding, welding, and sanding, the Golf was finally rust-free. A fresh coat of primer sealed the metal, preventing future corrosion. Next up, the heart of the GTI, its engine. The original 1.6-liter inline-4 wasn't in great shape, but we were determined to keep it original. We disassembled the engine completely, replacing worn-out pistons, bearings, and seals. The cylinder head received a full refresh, with new valves, guides, and a resurfaced mating surface. To give it a bit more punch, we upgraded the camshaft and installed a free-flowing intake. With a fresh coat of factory-correct black paint and red GTI lettering on the valve cover, the engine looked as good as new. While the engine was being rebuilt, we turned our attention to the suspension and brakes. The original GTI setup was sporty for its time, but we wanted to sharpen it up. We installed new Bilstein shocks and Eibach lowering springs to give the Golf a more aggressive stance and improved handling. The brakes got a full overhaul too, new rotors, calipers, and stainless steel brake lines for better stopping power. With everything coming together, this GTI was shaping up to be a true driver's car once again. Now it was time for one of the most satisfying parts of the restoration, the paint job. We carefully prepped the body, sanding down the old layers of faded Mars Red paint until we reached a smooth surface. After laying down a high-quality primer, we sprayed the GTI in its original Mars Red, using a multi-stage process to ensure a deep, glossy finish. Once the clear coat was applied and polished, the result was stunning. The car looked brand new with a vibrant red finish that brought it back to life. With the exterior looking perfect, it was time to restore the interior to its former glory. We sourced authentic GTI plaid fabric and had the seats reupholstered, bringing back that classic 70s hot hatch feel. The cracked dashboard was replaced with a pristine factory-correct unit, and the steering wheel was refurbished to look brand new. A new headliner, fresh carpets, and OEM-style door panels completed the transformation. Every detail mattered, from the correct shift knob to the factory radio. Sitting inside, it felt like stepping back in time. The final stage of the restoration was reassembling everything. The rebuilt engine went back into place, now mated to a refreshed 4-speed manual gearbox. New mounts, bushings, and a stainless steel exhaust system ensured smooth performance. The black trim, badges, and iconic GTI grille were reinstalled, giving the car its signature look. Finally, we mounted a set of period-correct Pirelli P-slot wheels wrapped in grippy performance tires, completing the stance. With the restoration complete, it was time for the best part, the first drive. Turning the key, the engine fired up with a crisp, throaty growl, instantly reminding us why the GTI is so special. On the road, it felt nimble and eager with sharp steering and a lightweight feel that modern cars just can't replicate. The upgraded suspension gave it a planted stance, while the fresh brakes provided confidence-inspiring stopping power. Pushing it through the gears, you could feel the raw, unfiltered driving experience that made the GTI an instant classic. Bringing this 1976 Volkswagen Golf GTI MK1 back to life has been an incredible journey. From a rusted, neglected shell to a fully restored hot hatch, this project was all about preserving an icon. The GTI isn't just a car, it's a statement, a revolution, and a reminder of why we fell in love with driving in the first place. And with this Mars Red beauty now fully restored, it's ready to hit the road once again, turning heads and carving corners just like it did nearly 50 years ago. That's it for today's restoration. If you enjoyed watching this GTI come back to life, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss our next project. Let me know in the comments, what classic car should we restore next? Until next time, keep those engines running and the classics alive.